Everybody, in today's video for the low introductory price sale of absolutely nothing, you heard it here last.
Lynn did not shower the whole time we were at my mom.
We're going to talk about some Amber Reid drama. It's an exciting time to be alive. It's a wonderful time when you could just say that the video is going to be amazing and you know that, well, all right, whatever. At least we're here. So we're going to talk about a lot of Amber Reid drama, her new videos. Is she showering? Is she lying about showering? What does everybody else think? What does everybody else say? Who cares? Rumors, drama. Does the fun ever start? Amber Reid, the most entertaining, most popular girl in school. All right, if you could not tell already by this ridiculous intro, everything I am saying is just for entertainment purposes only. I'm sharing my own opinions, not facts. I'm basing my opinions on publicly accessible information, first made public by public figures. Please do not go to these people's channels and leave mean-spirited, negative, discouraging, disparaging comments. Entertainment purposes only. First thing we need to discuss is I'm going to direct you to Oh Lordy, It's Jordy's video about this topic. I'm not posting any screenshots or anything like that. There's like a whole situation where somebody had originally spoken supposedly to one of Amber's exes. And the only thing that I could say here is basically that supposedly one of Amber's exes said that, allegedly that she is a bit cheap, highly implied that she's cheap. And while they spent a lot of money on her, Amber bought them very minuscule things and did not spend a lot of money on them. The thing about this whole situation that I wanted to say as far as only that is concerned, okay, so I think, my opinion, okay, Amber Reid believes that she was used financially in relationships. In my opinion, she believes that, Destiny and Beck used her. And the thing is that I don't think that's very true. I think that she paid for certain things. Like, she didn't want to hire a caretaker, so you had a free one, okay? The bottom line is, I think that because she believes that she was used financially in relationships, I think that she just doesn't want to give anything financially anymore. Like, when someone is being kind to you financially, right? You should just show them how much you care about them as much as you can if you don't have the finances, right? Because a financial gift isn't everything, but I feel like she on purpose just uses the money on herself. I'm going to give you an example, and this isn't even about dating. Recently, her mother had said that she couldn't afford something and Amber was going to buy her something, but it seemed like they had been in these situations before and Amber hadn't offered. Now, here's the thing. Amber's going around, listen to what I'm about to tell you.
I didn't lie. I didn't lie.
We're about to talk about it. Amber's going around saying that she cannot afford her medicine, right? Supposedly she's in a financial hardship. Then she says that she can afford her medicine. Then she again says she cannot afford it, right? Okay. But you see her having a weekly Amazon haul. You see her buying, herself Tupperware and all this other stuff. My point being that if any of her exes are coming out and saying, well, she was kind of frugal and I had spent a lot of money on her and she didn't really spend that much money on me, it's because she wants to spend it on herself. I think that she believes that she was used financially before. And I think that it was your choice, Amber, to pay Destiny's rent. It was your choice, Amber, to go and pay somebody's phone bill. It was your choice, Amber, to go and pay for Destiny's, family members or whatever, because you wanted to be liked. Let's just be real. You weren't being, Miss Congeniality. You were not being generous. The thing with you is you used money to get what you want in lots of different relationships. You do have less money now. I will say this. She's clearly getting less views now and, making less money. But the point is she clearly shows you that she's spending it on herself, on bingo, on torrid halls, which are super expensive, by the way. In my opinion, that's a lot of money, and she's spending money on new Tupperware for herself, while at the same time not spending money on her ex-partners and not spending money on her medicine. You understand what I'm saying? My point is it's twofold. Number one, she believes that she definitely was used before, so she never wants to be used against financially. Oh, please, like any of your recent exes would have used you financially. Come on now. And the other part is she just wants to spend it on herself. Like, it's obvious that she mainly wants to spend it on herself and then complains that she's suffering in silence. More on that in a minute. So when her ex, was having like a, Instagram DM conversation and was like, highly implying that Amber was not really very giving when it came to presents. Okay. Well, I think she had the money at that time because she was earning more money before, like she was earning more money before, and now she's earning less money, but she just wants to spend it on herself. So let's move on to very interesting stuff about Amber suffering in silence. Yeah, right. She has not suffered in silence ever. So the first thing that I want to talk about, goals, is that Amber keeps saying that she's suffering in silence. Amber, as a watcher of your videos, it is my opinion after watching your videos as a watcher, but again, it's with your best interest in mind, Pookie. Can I call you Pookie? Stop saying that. I'm going to tell you why. It's coming off incredibly disingenuous, and whatever your suffering is, it's clearly very, very blatant, and you keep talking about it. So it's not in silence. I don't know if you know the difference between silence and loudness, but silence is when we are quiet. And by the way, here's some advice for you. It is only when you are quiet that you could hear yourself the best, and you get to hear everybody the best when you're quiet. Think about what I just said. She's never quiet. That's why she doesn't get it. Okay. Amber, you have been saying in a bunch of your latest videos that you are suffering in silence, but you're not. Now, what do I mean by that? So the average person, when they are complaining, right, has been saying this for years. I'm suffering with this. I'm suffering for that. With that, you're the eternal victim, only you're very loud. Like, listen, I understand that you have problems, health problems. We all have health problems. I have news for you. Every single person that is consuming this video right now has probably suffered in their past. They could be suffering currently. They will possibly, unfortunately, suffer in the future. That's life. The difference between you, Amber, and us is that we're not getting paid for our supposed suffering that you claim you're having. And then on top of that, we're not misleading our audience. Look, you want to talk about your suffering, you want to monetize your suffering in silence or in loudness. This is a vocabulary channel. Then why don't you just tell us what's going on? She's constantly saying, oh, well, behind the scenes, this, that, and the other is happening. I've been suffering in silence. You've been not suffering in silence. You keep complaining. Actually, you've been complaining loudly and not suffering in silence. And by the way, just in case you are suffering in silence, all that really means is that Amber Reid is not telling us yet another part of her life. Guess what? Big secret revealed. None of us care. Look, Amber, it is incredibly not genuine to come on the internet, monetize your supposed suffering and being like, oh, by the way, everything is happening behind the scenes. It's all in silence, but I'm not going to tell you about it, and then I'm going to lie to you about it. Honestly, sweetheart, I really wish you all the best with your health and whatever you're going through, but we're all suffering here. That's what life is about. That and a green frog. Get over it, okay? You are not doing anything in silence except walking to the bank and getting your money. Just get over yourself, Pookie. It's almost as if she wants everyone to know that there's something definitely happening. Well, she does. She wants everyone to know there's definitely bad things happening behind the scenes, but I won't tell you. I'm like, I just have to stop and say, I can't imagine anyone coming onto YouTube and saying, I've been suffering in silence. I've been suffering in silence. You know why? Because when a person is actually in that situation, they would never let you know. The whole concept of suffering in silence is that you don't want other people to know, so you don't tell them. She's clearly looking for sympathy, but it's deeper than that. This is my opinion after watching her for years. I think the reason that she's constantly saying, oh, this is bad and this is bad and suffering in silence now, that's the new ad nauseum. Thank you very much. It's come out of the, whatever, out of the Hans Christian Amberlynn book. She's saying that to prepare you. Anything bad that comes out about her, she treats people bad, any bad behaviors. Oh, well, remember, Amber is suffering in silence, so we can't say anything to her. It's just so you pay attention to her problems behind the scenes that we don't even know, and you don't judge her for her bad actions publicly and anything private that comes out. You understand what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. Amber, people that suffer in silence, they don't talk about it. If you were actually suffering in silence, which you're obviously not because you complain about things all the time, what would happen is none of us would know. Okay. Now, one more thing. I just have this to say. I said it in my other video and I'm going to keep up with it. Okay. So she is showing that she's buying new Tupperware. Who else did you buy Tupperware for? And she's showing that she has her weekly Amazon haul. By the way, she actually names it her weekly Amazon haul. I have to tell you something yet again. I do not even know a single person that buys something from Amazon every single week, unless it's a groceries, something like that. Most people don't have the money to do that. But here's the thing. 5 seconds ago, before we knew what she says in her videos, I didn't judge her for the way that she wanted to spend her money because it didn't matter to me. Amber, how dare you come on to youtube.com and say, I don't have the money for my medicine, but buy things weekly from Amazon? Have you ever thought if you stopped buying useless things from whatever stores that you're buying things from, like whatever you need to buy, you believe you need new earrings, you believe you need this. By the way, I'm sure that she's going to respond to something like this and say, oh my God, I just bought some vitamins and I bought things I needed, like a pill dispenser. I'm not talking about that. That's fine. So don't even try it, Pookie. Because whenever anyone calls her out on anything, she takes the most, like, she participates in language manipulation, and she immediately, like, that was an example of what she would say. Oh, well, me buying vitamins in a pill dispenser is something that I needed. I know that. I'm not talking about that. You constantly buying 700 journals and buying all of this other stuff, that's what we're talking about. If you truly, because she comes on here and she says she cannot buy these certain medicines that she was supposed to be on to get better with her health, if you can't afford it, stop wasting your money on bingo. Save it for these other this main medicine that you need. It's amazing to me. Like, Amber, even if you don't do hauls, we all see that you're spending money frivolously. Like, why do you need to change up your plates, your Tupperware? Like, you actually don't need to do that. By the way, people that cannot afford medicine, I hate to break this to you, actually do not go and frivolously spend on bingo, on this and that. I don't believe that she's at that point where she really can't afford medicine. I think she's telling this story that you join her memberships, or for you to feel bad for her suffering in silence, or quite frankly, if you genuinely can't afford your medicine but continue spending frivolously. See, bingo is not something that you must spend money on. She clearly has to in her mind, because otherwise she won't get her weekly outing with mommy, because she doesn't drive, refuses to take Ubers, and doesn't have, like, from what I'm understanding, a live-in partner who would drive her around. That's why she's going to bingo. If you think that Amber's obsessed with bingo, please. My opinion is she'll do, like, somebody was saying this in the comments recently, like, oh, well, you know, she's doing this and that. I think she's doing whatever her mother wanted to do. Like, if her mother didn't go to bingo and her mother went to the movies 3 times a week, Amber would be at the movies 3 times a week. It's whatever she can tag along to, because it's the only way that she can get out. Well, this is the bottom line. You need to stop complaining to your audience that if you are constantly frivolously spending a weekly Amazon haul, changing your Tupperware for $50, by the way, and going around and playing bingo twice a week and giving away your money that you won. Like, we are not here to financially support you if you cannot manage your money. And all of these years, I never talked about this, but at this point, it has to be said. Amber, if you're not making enough, or you don't have enough money for your medicine, stop going to bingo or stop complaining about it. Oh, right. I forgot. She was suffering in silence. Doesn't sound like silence to me. The other thing that she keeps doing in all of her videos is she keeps repurposing her content. Amber, you know that that's not allowed, okay? She keeps taking all of her older clips that she's already posted this week and stuffing them into and putting them into her weekly vlog. Amber, not only do you tell people the tea in your weekly live stream, which is why I think it's a bad idea, one of the many reasons, but no one wants to see the same old video repurposed in your new video. That's what she's doing. She's putting in old clips into her new videos, and people are even actually asking, like, didn't we already see this video before? How about you stop filming like 3 videos in one day? By the way, to those of you that did not believe me that she's filming all of these videos in one day, your proof is in the last video she made. Some interesting moments in her new vlog. Okay, I have always said this. I will continue to say this. It is my personal opinion that this woman is not a vlogger. What she does is not vlogging. She has a drama channel. If you could just admit that, then people would respect you. Amber, I know you want to have a really good relationship with your audience, or at least you claim to. So why do you continue to mislead them? All right. So she decides to stand in front of her, what is this, your wall, and say negative things about Justin Bieber. Okay, I am not going to comment on the state of Justin Bieber's life because that's not what this video is about. But here's what I'd like to say. Amber has negative things to say about Helen Keller, about Stevie Wonder. She has lies to spread about Stevie Wonder's problems and issues that he has in his life. And now she's spreading whatever type of information about Justin Bieber. Here's the thing. To be honest with you, what I really wanted, like I thought about saying this, not saying this, I'm just going to say it. What I really wanted to say in this video is, who are you to be commenting on these people's like very serious issues? But I decided that, you know what? That's what I was going to say. But here's what I'm saying now. I'm just telling you honestly, like what I really wanted to say, like what I'm really thinking. Like, who is this woman to be saying this? But deeper than that. Why is it? Here's my main point talking about this. Why is it that you are allowed to say terrible things about Justin Bieber, terrible things about Helen Keller, terrible things about Stevie Wonder, but no one is allowed to say anything about you? When Zachary Michael dared to say anything about you, you try to chase them off the internet and you try to say, well, you need to stop making videos about me. Why? Why is it that Zachary Michael, for example, or me, or any other reaction channel is not allowed to say anything about you, public figure, but you do nothing but spread negativity about other celebrities and say bad things about other people? Quite frankly, how dare you speak on Justin Bieber and whatever's going on with him? Do you understand, Amber, that if you currently say something about him that isn't true, that's actually that word that you keep saying that people say about you? My point is, first of all, how is this a vlog? How is this a vlog? As I said, she's just re-uploading old footage that she's already filmed and we've already seen into this video. And she's standing by her wall and saying things, negative things about Justin Bieber. Can you please explain to me how you're a vlogger and why is it, again, that none of the reaction channels are allowed to say anything about you, public figure, but you continue to say, oh, people shouldn't say anything about me, they shouldn't say anything about me, but you continue to spread lies about Helen Keller and Stevie Wonder and say certain things about Justin Bieber? Why is it that it's rules for thee, but not for your Kermit, okay? Moving on, she then talks about how she wants to stop her plastic consumption and she's going to be, you know, like not getting so much water bottles. She also got a Brita filter. Here's what I have to say about that. Okay, so when she first started talking about getting a Brita filter, I knew what this was about, but I'm like, you know what? Sometimes I really love for her to like expose herself before I say something. It was obvious what it was about. So let me just say this. If you haven't been watching her videos for years, she drinks water bottles. I have news for you. A lot of people drink water bottles. I'm not going to come for her for doing that. I understand about the plastic consumption, but I think it would be like really hypocritical and ridiculous of me to single her out and say, oh, she's the only one that drinks water bottles, because that's not true, okay? And I'm not going to do that. I'm not commenting on that. What I wanted to say here is people for years have been telling her to stop drinking out of water bottles, try to limit her plastic consumption and change to like a filter for the sink water. And she now has done this. My point is, she's pretending in this video that she's done this because she wants to change her plastic consumption and that she wants to, make a real change, when the only reason you've made the change is so that people leave you alone when you show yourself drinking water in your videos. And do you really think you're going to have a good relationship with your audience when you mislead them in this way? My point is, I think that her audience would understand her and have respect for her for saying this. Look, I get a lot of criticism. Most of it is warranted. Imagine if she actually said that, she would get a whole new audience and people would love her genuine honesty, but she's not going to say that. By the way, she still hasn't figured out that the key to getting your audience to genuinely relate to you is to just be honest about your faults. Okay, she's not going to do that, but moving on, I digress. So if she had just come on here and said, look, I have a bunch of faults and I, get criticized. A lot of it is for real reasons, and very few of it is like maybe not real or not genuine. But, people constantly tell me to stop drinking, from water bottles. And you know what? I've decided I'm going to stop because I've listened to you guys and you guys are correct. And I'm stopping this behavior because I just want to stop being criticized. And maybe you guys are right. But mainly, I'm just sick and tired of seeing these comments. If she said that and admitted that that's why she was changing, a lot of people would understand it. Look, if you've been here for a long time in the Amberverse, you know that she constantly gets called out for her plastic consumption and the water bottles. So the idea being that we already know, girl, why you're changing to a filter for your water. We know that you don't really want to change your, plastic consumption. We know you just are sick and tired of hearing these comments. We can tell. It's palpable, Amber. For years, people have been calling her out about this. She's making this change to appease the audience, not because she actually wants to. Not only is this not a vlog, but at what point are you going to be honest with your audience? I know, never. But Amber, that is the key to being liked. I know you want to be liked so bad. I know you want a good relationship with your audience so bad. No matter who you are, be that person. You are not even being yourself here. Like, common sense. Of course she's changing out for the filter and limiting her plastic consumption after all these years because she's sick and tired of seeing these comments. If you said that, people could relate to you and understand the truth, but you won't. Let's talk about the part of her video that I haven't gotten to yet, which is where she says that she doesn't have an agenda. Showering is just a very bland, normal, regular part of her life. She's annoyed pretty much that people are making it like she has some kind of an agenda, and it's ridiculous. She says that, I'm paraphrasing, that people take everyday normal moments like someone showering and they turn it into something else. She doesn't, vlog for like special occasion. Like, basically what she's saying is she just lives her life and she vlogs that, and she's not like doing something for the vlog. And then she discusses how every single vlogger that she watches constantly, is always talking about showering. Now, that's what she said. I wanted to tell you what she said in one of her latest videos. I have said before that I cannot continue to talk about this topic anymore because, as Amber would say, ad nauseum, like, it's ridiculous. There's like, at the heart of it is a blatant lie. Deeper than that, she thinks that the audience is not as smart as her, and she actually cannot read the room. To this day, do I think that she has the ability to read the room? Yes, but she doesn't use it because she only cares about herself, in my opinion, and believes, look, we're gonna talk about this, okay? This goes deeper into caring more about your beliefs and reading the room and how it affects you. We're going to get to it, okay? At this point, it's just blatant lying. Okay, let's just start at the very beginning. Amber says, and I just need to say this, and that's why I want to talk about this, because, sometimes when she blatantly lies, it bugs me. Like, stop lying. You know exactly what this is about, Amber. And notice how she purposely does not talk about what this is really about. All right. So what is this really about? First of all, for those of you that don't know, every single ex that has come out and talked about her, Casey, Destiny, and Beck, have all explained that she basically didn't shower. Amber has an entire video where she admits that she didn't shower for 1 year. Okay. Am I judging her for that? No. I really don't care about her showering. I didn't care about it before, and I certainly don't care about it now. I understand people get themselves into bad situations. I don't care. No judgments here, because again, don't care. The issue is the blatant lying and thinking that, your audience is less smarter than you, which is not true. Amber, I know you believe that you are the smartest girl in the room, okay? So, Destiny said that Amber didn't shower for months on end and that there was issues with her hygiene. Okay. Beck also said that Amber just basically didn't shower. Amber confirmed it in the past, claiming this is what Amber's trying to do now. She's trying to pretty much imply that she only didn't shower 1 year out of all the years and she was always showering. But we know that that isn't true because we're using common sense here, and also because Casey showed emails where Amber had said that when she was with Casey, she was not showering at all. Now, before you think this or say this, her, life and her health status stopped her from doing that. Absolutely not. No. When she was with Casey, she was totally able to shower, and the same with Destiny. Just didn't want to. Okay. She even says that in the email, in the first email, she says, well, I shower now, and not like I did when you and I were together. Why weren't you showering? You had a totally regular shower. She was not at the health stage that she had reached with Beck. So there's no way. Look, this is my opinion. It's very, the topic is petty. And the reason that I'm talking about it is because of her lies. It's not because of the showering topic. I never care about what she lies about. Amber, you, in my opinion, I believe and I think and I feel that you do not enjoy showering and you don't like to do it. And you never did. And before you say, oh my God, I was never taught to drink water, I was never taught to shower, I really don't care. No sympathy. I have no sympathy bone for you because I used to have sympathy for you, but I see the way that you treat others, including your mom. So no sympathy for you. I don't care. If your mommy didn't teach you how to shower, maybe you should have understood that when you were in relationships with other women, you should have. I mean, Amber, you clearly saw your partner shower. Why didn't you? You didn't want to. Was there a time that she probably couldn't? Yes, but we're talking about the end of the relationship with Beck. Why didn't you shower in your other relationships? You didn't want to. Anyways, general point is, don't care that she didn't shower. Understand that sometimes people get themselves into bad situation. That's why no judgments. Don't care. The idea here is you for years didn't shower, and very important, never made statements that she did. In all of her other videos, you may find I remember 2 or 3 instances over years where she would be like, oh yeah, I take a quick shower, I'm having difficulty, and that's it. But now in every single video, she started saying that she showers all the time when, Destiny first started exposing her and saying that she didn't. Common sense alone tells us that you're only saying that you're showering in every single video to instill it in people's minds that you're showering now. And not only do I not believe you, and no, I do not think that you are getting clean. Do I think you're getting into the shower? Yes, but not the latter. Absolutely not. And I think that you don't want to. And I think that that's the bottom line, okay? Moving on from all of that. So Amber chooses not to say any of that. Notice her continuously, purposefully, obviously pushing her own narrative. Oh, Amber just shows that she's, what is it? Let's read it off, the actual statement. Amberlynn only showers and cleans in her vlogs to prove she can. Sweetheart, that's not the topic. The real topic is, for years, you didn't talk about showering, except for 2 or 3 times over years. And now you're saying you're showering every time. It's I had a piece of cheese, I was showering. I had this cellulitis, I was massively showering while the puddle was attacking me. Please, we see what you're doing. By the way, for those of you that may be on the fence here, although I can't imagine anyone is, but if you are, she knows that all of her exes have recently exposed her, and even before that, she doesn't shower. And people, listen to me, as somebody who used to be on camera for a long time, people can tell what's going on with you. And when you're I don't know, people have said everything under the sun about me. They have said everything under the sun about me, but no one's ever said that she looks like she doesn't shower, because I do. You understand what I'm saying? Let me put it to you this way. When you don't regularly shower, people can tell. Ambi, can I call you Pookie? And so this is what it's about. People know you're lying, and the only reason you're bringing it up is because here's what it is. I know I took the long way, but here's why she's bringing it up. She knows that she's been exposed for this. So she is doing something which is reverse psychology, situation type, Kermit Nightmare. She's just trying to throw it in there and pretend it's just a regular day. Yeah, I went to bingo with my mom, manipulated one of my exes. Oh, voice notes, reported a reaction channel. Oh, yeah, and I showered. Oh, I had the cellulitis, I showered. She's trying to throw it in there so that in her mind, this is what's going on. Obviously, people know you're not, and your exes have explained you're not. But, if I go to Amber's channel, she's saying that she is. Of course, we're going to believe Amber. Amber, bye. No, people believe your exes because they're the ones that were in the room with you. Stop this childish game. Moving on from that to not being able to read the room. First problem that I see here is that she continues to talk about fake rumors that don't exist, or doesn't actually get to the point of what people are saying, or basically presents what people are talking about to her audience that may not know anything about this in an incorrect way. People are not going around saying that you are showering or talking about showering to show us that you can. People are going around and saying, You bring up showering all the time because you probably are trying to do damage control for what your exes are saying and have said. And you're doing this because you think that subliminally, if people go to Amberlynn's channel and see that she's constantly talking about showering, they'll somehow understand that it's really just part of your mundane everyday life. No. People don't care that you talk about showering. People can understand that they've watched you for years and you never used to do this and are only doing this now to appease the masses who believe otherwise. Amber, I want to tell you something. Most people that watch you don't care if you shower or not, and they're not even judging you to a certain degree. But everyone knows why you're saying it all the time. It's because you're trying to do damage control. What I find disingenuous is continuously pretending that rumors are being spread about you that are not. Bottom line is, people want to know why you're constantly saying it. Like, okay, let me open the window. I showered. There was a puddle that went after me. I showered. Like, this is not the average thing that the average vlogger is doing, which brings me to my last point about that, and we'll move on to reading the room. The average vlogger is not constantly talking about showering. Obviously wants you to believe this. I have watched countless vloggers, and what actually happens, as always, Amber Reid is exaggerating the situation and only creating BS nonsense lies to fit her own narrative. Maybe the average vlogger will say in passing, oh, like I showered, had to get the kids, or, oh, I was late somewhere, I had to still shower. Something like that in passing, where it's obvious there's no backstory of you not showering for years because you didn't want to, not because you didn't have to. And that's the point, darling. And the average vlogger doesn't make it like, you're obviously, from watching your videos, you're obviously making it a point in every video to discuss showering, and you never did that before. And before somebody says, well, if she wasn't showering before, she wasn't talking about it before. No, she's only talking about it now, not because she's doing the action, but because she's trying to subliminally make anyone that watches her videos believe that she showers after her ex has said that they didn't. It's a manipulation tactic, and a rudimentary one. Amber, the average vlogger doesn't have it in every single vlog that they shower, but you magically, I love it when magic gets involved. You do. Let's move on to reading the room. Every single YouTuber, when YouTube is a job for you, the job for you, whether you work full-time, part-time, people learn how to read the room quickly. And also, especially if you have any type of commentary drama channel, Amber has, I know that she believes that she's a vlogger and she tries to pretend that she is. Remember, she tells you in this video, she barely vlogs anything she actually does. She always is like, oh, I had this amazing time and I didn't vlog it. Yeah, you're not a vlogger. You are a drama commentary channel. You discuss drama of your own drama and what other people are saying about your drama. And sometimes you talk about other reaction channels. The point is, when you, especially if you are in any type of way involved in drama, discussing it, you learn how to read the room quickly. Reading the room isn't just understanding and knowing what people are saying. It's understanding, as Hans Christian Amberlynn would say, it's the understandment. I'm reminded of a sonnet by Hans Christian Amberlynn. It's understanding how to apply that to your own career here and job, and what's best for your YouTube channel to address what people are saying and what is not best for you. Sometimes reading the room, and I would say most of the time reading the room, is more than just understanding. She knows that people don't believe her that she showers. And instead of just dropping the topic, she wants to portray herself as this showers are us, when in reality, no one believes that. Look, sometimes there is a vocal minority or a vocal majority. It depends. Either the people talking about it, there's a few people talking about it, but they're very loud, so they're in the minority of the most of your audience, or there's a vocal majority where the majority of your audience is saying negative things. The point is to understand the audience's general opinion and to see, is this best discussed or not? She does read the room properly, but on purpose manipulates and gaslights the situation into not addressing it properly, or she shouldn't address it at all. Look, you're never going to convince anyone that you shower, and I've said this many times before. If you actually do want to convince people of anything, don't talk about it, okay? Once you remove your energy from a topic, it ceases to have its power. But Amber Hans Christian Reid, who's talking and communicating to the universe every day with her tarot cards, is way behind on that. All right, that's about it for today's video. Let me know your thoughts and comments about the video in the comments and dislikes down below. Check out this other video that's popping up here on a similar topic. Thank you so much for spending some of your time with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.